So we're coordinating and collaborating with the Arizona Commerce Authority and also the Arizona Governor's Office to basically try to bring internet to communities that are unserved and underserved. So the way that ADOT fits into that is that we are installing about 400 miles of conduit along I-17, I-19, and Interstate I-40. And that'll serve as middle mile conduit that's available to lease for internet service providers to be able to branch off into lateral project areas and communities. So the state was definitely interested and motivated to invest public funding into broadband for a couple reasons. One is primarily the underserved and unserved communities, which means either they don't have internet today or their internet is very slow. And then that kind of got magnified during the time of COVID, when we realized everybody had to start working from home, kids were going to school from home, people were doing telemedicine from home, so that only magnified the need to invest in Arizona and try to get all the communities in Arizona connected.
Kimley-Horn's role on the I-40 project is the prime designer. We knew about this 202-mile project due to our previous project experience on both I-17 and I-19. So we have designed over 400 miles of ADOT's middle mile program, actually all of ADOT's middle mile program. So we've been with ADOT since the inception of this program. We knew ahead of time that ADOT wanted to get this project designed and in the ground because I-40 is a very popular interstate from east to west across Arizona. A lot of providers want to get from LA to Dallas or get to rural Arizona.
So installing fiber optic infrastructure in Arizona is a challenge due to the amount of rock and geotech that we have in the areas. Specifically the I-17 project, which goes from Phoenix to Flagstaff, is probably one of the only drives in the world that you start off with cactuses and end up with pine trees at the end. And just the constructability, and also we had some environmental limitations of staying within 15 feet of the edge of the pavement were challenges. And so it's a tough build. You encounter lots of rock. The equipment takes a beating by doing that. And so we used a variety of methods to install the conduit along that route. Again, mostly just the micro trench, which is right there in the asphalt shoulder of the highway. And then we used plowing and other methods as needed.
On this project with 202 miles, we have everything from sandy washes to solid hard rock. So a couple different pieces of equipment we're using is the plow section is utilizing a D8 pre-ripper followed by a D6, plowing the conduit into the ground. We're also using a rock wheel micro trencher to trench 14 inches deep into the asphalt. And those areas are in areas of hard rock and cultural sensitivity areas that we can't cause ground disturbance. And then we're also using, traditional backhoes and mini excavators for the pole box installation. And then also an all-terrain directional drill to get through some of this, extremely tough material we're dealing with up here near Flagstaff.
So the challenges in this project aren't unique. The solid rock nature of the projects here. With this project being 200 plus miles, we're going to go from one end of 200 miles to the other end of 200 miles, and the rock formations can change. The PSI, or the hardness of the rock, can change on us. And being in the middle of nowhere, some of the challenges of getting the right tooling in from the bigger cities is a little bit of a challenge. But other than that, you just got to come prepared.
Yeah, on this project, we worked with Kimley-Horn quite a bit in the design, really future-proofing ADOT's network, knowing that they have an interest to commercialize the 6 extra ducts. So what we came up with is a 3 pole box system. They're called ADOT number 9Bs, and they're stacked in parallel with ADOT owning the center box so they can lock their own infrastructure, and the third-party providers will have access to the 2 outside boxes, kind of separating liability and their infrastructure down the road.
ADOT decided to install a Dura-Line armored 7-way microduct conduit, and we did that for a couple reasons. Is just the amount of versatility and flexibility it gives you in the future. We know that when we put it into the ground, that we wanted to definitely use it on day one for intelligent transportation system for ITS. And I call that all the gadgets and gadgets that make the highway safer and more efficient. So CCTV cameras, wrong way driving cameras, message boards, things of that nature. And then the other need, of course, is for the households, for providing internet to those internet service providers. So we'd be able to lease the conduit in one of the pathways, provide ITS, Intelligent Transportation System services, in another one of those microducts or pathways, and have that physical separation between the two.
Dura-Line's 7-way product it's so flexible. It could be armored, it could be non-armored, we can choose color of sheaths. It can be installed by a various number of methods. So the other thing is, when you have like the 1.25" with the microducts, that's just a bigger footprint that doesn't work for ADOT. So we didn't want to go 4-way, and 7-way was probably the best product for ADOT. So 3 3-inch conduits is 3 different rolls, 3 different reels, whereas you have one 4-way or even a 7-way, it's one reel. So it's just less management of material. Jetting is huge because there's less of an impact on traffic when you jet, because you can get more production.
I think more organizations should be using the FuturePath product. It only makes sense for several reasons. From an insulation perspective, you've got extra pathway to lease or to sell, to do whatever it is that you want to do with it. You only have a one-time construction cost. From the maintenance perspective of it, it totally, completely makes sense. Later on down the line, after construction is completed, somebody has to maintain it, somebody has to mark it. When they call in 811s, it has to be located. This product can be custom made to fit whatever the need is, but it has a tracer wire built into it, which is awesome. So you shouldn't have too many issues trying to find this product in the ground later on. But again, it's just kind of a complete product, and from the construction side of things, it just makes complete sense to be installing things like this.
The thing I like most about the 7-way, especially up here in the rocky conditions, is the option to do a armored sheath on it. Kind of gives us peace of mind when you're backfilling around rocky conditions, that's going to hold up through the test of time.
If you're in another Department of Transportation and you're considering your options, looking for the best option out there in terms of flexibility and versatility, I definitely recommend the microducts, multiple pathways. It just gives you ultimate flexibility and diversity for the future. In ADOT, we work a lot with local municipalities. We work with sister state agencies such as Department of Public Service, DPS, and by having that flexibility inside one conduit to be able to physically separate fibers and also share other inner ducts and pathways as well is beneficial.